Testing, testing. 3, 2, 1. Greetings, fellow open minds, I hope. We were all once children, living in a world where we were still discovering, where ghosts were as possible as the devil, Loch Ness, and E.T., running to the light switch type stuff. You know what I'm talking about. As we grow older and become more rational in our beliefs, do we really become more rational? Is it possible we've just been molded to think the things we do because it's what everyone else says is true? In other words, could we be lied to? Is that so hard to believe? Much like when we were told to be good and leave a snack out for Santa or else we'll get coal. It's quite clear that lying is a thing that humans do to each other for different reasons. Sometimes you gotta do a little white lie to spare someone's feelings, but not telling the truth is not telling the truth. It's the same as lying, basically. So if you're leaving someone in the dark about something, we fear the dark. You're sacrificing them for themselves, which is ironic, really, right? That makes sense, I think. So we do it whether it's good or because we're scared or because of reasons of greed or power over others. We lie. We lie about our technological achievements for fear of others getting ahead of us. We don't want, China or Russia knowing some of the things our government knows because we gotta have that edge, in case they attack, in case we gotta attack, we gotta have that edge over them. We gotta know something that they don't, So we lie about stuff. We lie about statistics in our nations so that other nations think we're doing better than we actually are. Maybe even cause a worldwide pandemic to even the playing field while we're at it. Sound relatable? We lie about companies' damage to ecosystems because short term we need to hit those profit margins or our stock will plummet and we'll destroy the economy. Is this hitting any ballparks for anybody? We lie about aliens because, why would we lie about aliens? Paul Hellyer was a guy that was Canada's former defense minister sometime way back in decades ago. I think the 60s or something. I think a few years in the 60s. And he made a speech at the University of Calgary stating that aliens have been visiting for thousands of years and just basically aren't impressed yet with their evaluation of us. This, they're just like, we really think you guys could be doing better by this point. So, just wish you guys would step it up. Maybe until then, we'll just keep you in the dark about some stuff because, you guys just ain't ready. They're looking at us from a teacher's perspective of we're probably in grade 5 now. And I know that depends between countries and their school systems, but let's just say it doesn't matter. We're not where we should be, really. And I don't know. That's an opinion. You can't change the past or the future. You can. But anyway, according to him, some chief critiques by the aliens would be we're spending too much time and resources on fighting each other over more land and resources, kind of ironically, right? We're using the resources we have that we could be doing some useful stuff with, and we're using it to make machines to purposely destroy each other's machines. So we're building stuff to destroy other people's stuff that we know is going to get destroyed. Is that not click as a waste of resources to anybody? That just makes sense to people? We're just cool with that? That's like some Donald Trump level cool with it stuff going on that's been going on for a long time. We just let it happen. We're it's already happening. What are we just going to say? Stop it? They're going to point those big destroying things at us. We don't want that, right? Look at Hong Kong. So, it's just the way that it is with these places. you can't always say something, right? I really don't think that's the case. I think they can do what they can to stop you, but really, if you get enough people, you have power. So if everyone in like one hemisphere of the world like band together, they could like take out Russia. Like really, just being logical, it could be done. You could just, if everyone was like, you know what, let's stop Russia. Like even the Russians were like, yeah, let's just stop Russia, okay? And then they all just combined and yeah, they just stopped Russia and put something else there. Or maybe the whole, like the Americas, the North and South America, just decide to combine in some weird peaceful unity, selling cocaine and gold. Well, I mean, not gold because money is useless. No, yeah, selling things would be useless. So they just like make cocaine for each other. They'd be doing a lot of stuff, really productive stuff, but they do it healthy, you know? So you don't have anybody ODing. You teach them responsibility. So lots of people wouldn't do it out of choice, and that's perfectly fine. Lots of people don't drink. Lots of people don't smoke, right? It'd be the same as that, really. Like some people do it, some people don't. Whatever. It has benefits. It has negatives. Whatever. And you know, money wouldn't exist. It would just be peaceful. And like, you know, we could just do that. We could just take over the world because the world isn't, it's not even something to be taken over, man. I mean, like, we should just be existing, doing our thing, but we're busy playing all these games. And I mean, I really think if aliens did come here, they would see it in that way, or at least something similar. If they're advanced in any form, they would see us as wasting resources, wasting time, which is something that's also very valuable, and we don't treat it that valuable. We spent so much time in our weeks of grinding at that job that pays minimum wage or slightly above it, so you feel middle class. Like the class is like, man, don't even get me started. But we spend so much time on just feeding a ladder of greed. You know, you have the people at the, you know, and this greed, it does form creations. Like, you know, you have the ladder of people that, and the guy at the top is the one that created everything. And then you have managers and, you know, people to watch over people, and they get paid for that. So they get a cut of the total profits that thing makes. But like, you know, it's all a power struggle of who gets more of those profits. And so, you know, the people at the bottom, they feel like they're getting enough for them, which, I mean, sometimes it is enough. I mean, enough definitely depends on the individual, but they're just making them feel enough to be satisfied in the slightest. And also just taking away any hope that there could be something different. Like, over how long the governments encourage, like, they've made us believe without jobs as we know them, we would have no functioning society. It would be absolute chaos. And I mean, really, why is that a definite thing? Why is that just, we can just predict the outcome? Like we've been so good at predicting things. I believe Back to the Future said we'd have proper floating hoverboards by now. You know, they weren't accurate. We're not accurate as humans. So, you know, I don't think they have the right to prove that. I think that we have a lot of options. Our options are quite literally, if the multiverse theory is correct, infinite. Literally anything can happen. It's so crazy how many things could happen, okay? It's crazy, really. So, there's no reason we should be ruling anything specifically out. I think we can, if anything, just isolate the most reasonable of those and try to go for those, especially if they make more sense than the situation that is currently happening. The situation that is currently causing, well, should we start counting? Poverty, homelessness, starvation. This is all needlessly, by the way, because we technically have the food to feed everyone on Earth. We have the water to hydrate everyone on Earth. We have the infrastructure to house everybody on Earth. We can create these giant towers. We could probably create towers going down and just have like VR to keep people happy, give them vitamin C pills. Like, we could easily fix all of the problems that we have. Like, oh, and by working together, we'd get science done much faster. We probably would have had cancer figured out by now, if we weren't just so insistent on just feeding each other the pills we already have, but slightly altered, There's so many things, frustratingly, could be better about society, and we just blatantly ignore that fact. I do not understand for the life of me why that is. That frustrates me to the core of my existence. Anyway, back to where I was. We spend money building these crazy powerful machines capable of so much destruction, but nobody's built a gigantic rolling hospital like that, free of charge after a hurricane or something, right? We're not expelling crazy technologies towards we are towards healing people, but the paths that we are able to take are locked by money, financial reasons, when really that shouldn't be the case. We should just, if we have the resources to build something, we should build it. If it has any productive use, like a giant satellite to scan space, sure, let's do it. It's cool. All right, you want to build a giant hospital that you think is going to be really good at treating people and super I'm talking massive. Why not? Let's do it. Land doesn't cost anything in real life. Land is free. So if you want to take up a lot of land, just do it, and then people can build around that. You could build just a hub where there's health. You wouldn't even, I guess you'd have to have some form of enforcing peace. Not enforcing peace. Peace would exist naturally. That's the problem. Enforcing criminal activity, what's the opposite of enforcing? I don't know, whatever the opposite of enforcing criminal activity is, but people wouldn't normally want to do criminal activity, which is a thing that, already exists. No, most people aren't you know what I really want to do right now? I want to steal something. That would be so good right now. People don't, normally we're just whatever, we'll just buy it. It's much easier. That's a decision that's usually forced by a lack of money, which is your ability to do something. And the only way to get money is locked to this, I wouldn't say healthy way of funding the powerful. We just sit back and go, oh, that's sad. Look at those people's houses floating away in a hurricane. Look at those struggling communities in Africa. They still haven't had enough donations by now. Let's donate to the SPCA instead, because we keep breeding animals that we can't take care of and just throwing them on the street like an empty McDonald's bag. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, if aliens did exist, why wouldn't they want to be friends with us already? We're so powerful. We harness the power of atoms capable of blowing up our own people in massive amounts. Plus, not to mention the ecological devastation that they leave behind. We discovered the usefulness of fossil fuels hundreds of years ago. Well, 800 years ago. And we found no negative repercussions since we started. Even though we know they'll eventually run out, we see no need to rush change. And we believe in keeping peace between nations. That's why we must control and suppress nations that pose any potential risk to the rest of us in our blossoming countries. Also, why we developed the UN to watch over each other. Like when they watched China tell us there was no way this isolated incident could affect anyone else, let alone the rest of the planet. And we obviously care about our fellow humans as a species. That's why we want everyone to work a job in their community, whether they enjoy it or not, because it's their right to fund the upper class that was so kind to create these opportunities for them. It's my belief that we would be a great asset to aliens in the forceful colonization of our solar system, and eventually the universe. But perhaps, if they don't want to help us, they're only preparing to destroy us. So we should fight back first. Weapons will always be more important than science and happiness. This has been a message from a fellow human being with an open mind. Thank you for listening.